could build a... I could build an AK! Actually, it looks more like a WASR-10 to me, but I'm British, so what do I know? I'm just glad to see that one of Kalashnikov's descendants made it into Warframe. Best of all, it's actually a good weapon, and not in the sense of slaughtering everything with a press of a button, but it's fun and it's also a fucking AK. See, this is another hybrid weapon, like the Gotva, but whereas the Gotva required us to bust out Excel to figure out what was going on, Warframe's becoming a lot less esoteric in its old age. So we can see that it gives you plus 400% critical chance on headshot when aiming down sight, but has a 40% ammo efficiency while hip firing, and we don't have to consult any Eldritch gods. Looking at its stats, it initially seems like a crit weapon, with the 26% critical chance and 2.4 times crit multiplier, but only an 18% status chance. But because its critical chance buff is so high, you can use its hip fire passive to front load enemies with status before finishing them off with headshots. Because of this, I find it's better to mod for status chance and crit damage like the Gotva, making hammer shot a perfect mod for this weapon. With this unique ability to front load enemies with elements using the ammo efficiency, the AK is far more adaptable in terms of its element setup. A full cold setup with a vigilante mods to give you a chance of elevating your crits even further is pretty good, and so is a standard viral heat and viral slash setup build, and it pairs pretty nicely with primary plated rounds, so you can spray down a group of enemies when you're getting overwhelmed with the increased damage. You can even put blast and toxic on it with rifle elementalist and primary blight while checking yourself into the nearest mental hospital. What I'm trying to say is this weapon speaks to me on a different level from a lot of other weapons. It features mechanical depth outside of just being some boring alt fire, and it feels satisfying to use, with a nice sound profile, clean design, an interesting lore implementation, and also it's a fucking AK. Listen, ever since their acquisition by Tencent, Warframe's been on some booky shit. They've added pregnancy, 90s, romance, K-pop groups, God knows what's coming next at this point. They keep putting acid in the water cooler or something, and these weapons are a cry for help. Luckily, I was trained in infiltration as a child, and so I use my powers now to break into people's houses and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll explain what they're trying to say for the casual guilo. The Gotva was a gentle introduction into the new status changes, giving us modifications to cold and puncture, and foreshadowing the further changes to the other elements. The AK focuses on the new variety of stats we have with a little bit of extra mechanical depth, making more stats types viable by allowing you to front load and then lay on their damage with the crit by aiming down sight. And you might say, oh, well the stats rework's already come out, there's nothing more to see here. And you're probably right, but I've not been taking my medication, so I'm seeing Jesus in my SpaghettiOs again. What I mean to say is D is warning us. Not about the story, no. Frankly, I don't give a shit about that. No, about the gameplay, and the mechanical depth to come. Soon, Warframe will require us to memorize button combos like Dance Dance Revolutions just to use our powers. A Wii balance board for K-drives, a full haptic bodysuit for realistic damage feedback. The upcoming romance minigames will have full butt plug support, as well as a second keyboard just to use our additional operator powers. Or maybe I was just watching the wrong dev stream again, I'm not sure. Anyway, in conclusion, they added a fucking AK-47 to Warframe.